Good morning, Yves. How are you?
I'm great, Mark.
Thank you so much for coming aboard. I know you had to shuffle meetings to make this happen. I really appreciate it.
Anything for my friend.
Oh, Jesus. Really? Because I'm a little shy on cash right now. I don't
You
know.
know, Shine Cash, it's
Yeah.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming to $50 or I can't get my stuff back out of the pawn shop. Um, Steve, you and I have known each other for a number of years now. We first started working together on Delivery Slip, which was an online offering which made email absolutely secure. And you were heading up marketing for that, but now you're running a very cool company. You're the CEO of Kashoo. So talk to us just a little bit about Kashoo and what makes it different.
Well, Kashoo Cloud Accounting is a cloud accounting software package. It's been in business for a little over 10 years and has had lots of successes. And I joined the business about a year ago. We predominantly serve truly small businesses. So,
Mm-hmm.
and by that I mean businesses that have simple accounting needs. 45% of our customers have less than 100 transactions a year,
Mm-hmm.
and 80% in total have less than 500 transactions a year. So if you imagine, that's a lot of small companies with very simple accounting needs.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So is this a crowded space? Because I can imagine, I fit in that space, and I think that there's going to be such a boom of entrepreneurs who, either by choice or being forced out of big corporations after COVID and the economic meltdown, this is going to be a market that is flooded with customers. Is it getting crowded?
The market for suppliers, accounting and other sort of financial providers is absolutely crowded. It's, accounting specifically is dominated by a couple of guys. Here in North America, it's Intuit with their QuickBooks product.
Mhm.
Xero, a company out of New Zealand, is actually making a good run at it in North America. They were the pioneers in collaborative accounting software. They specifically target the mid to large size small businesses.
Mhm.
And for us, when I first came aboard, I had a look at our customers, and that's when I learned that 80% of them were really small.
Mhm.
Uh, but the other interesting fact about the small business market is that about 26% of the small businesses don't use accounting software, right? So they're really small. They need tools, and those tools can be anything from an envelope to a spreadsheet to a
Mhm.
Word document to a like a simple invoicing app. So is the market crowded? Yeah, there's lots of providers in the space. Are there more people coming into it, which is a bit of what you were saying at the beginning of your question? Yes, there are more customers. There are more people start putting up their shingle and starting their own business.
Now, what I find so bizarre, I mean, I did my own keeping track of my accounts and stuff like that. I was told right at the very beginning when I started, they said, you know what, you don't want trouble, get yourself a good accountant. And so I got myself a bookkeeper and an accountant. Bookkeeper to sort out the receipts, accountant to handle all the, squaring everything with the CRA. And I'm super happy with that arrangement. But what I'm seeing is that more and more I could eliminate a bookkeeper with something like this, just because a little extra effort keeping my receipts. Cashew's even got it to the place where it can pretty much automatically square up my receipts. All I have to do is scan the damn things, don't I?
Sure, it all comes down to what we hear and read about, artificial intelligence, or
Mm-hmm.
more specifically machine learning. Any role that's out there that has a high level of repetition and a distinct set of rules
Mm-hmm.
is apt to be automated at some point. So
Mm-hmm.
our American cousins would be happy to hear that the law profession is one of those professions that, artificial intelligence and machine learning is really going to disrupt in the future. And accounting is another one, but more specifically, the bookkeeping side of it, the record
Yeah.
keeping side, is prime for that. And so yes, we have essentially built machine learning so that when you connect to your bank account and your credit card statements and your investment accounts and your PayPal account and all of those things, we'll import those transactions, we'll automatically sort them, and then we'll match them as you have invoices and payments that are going out. When we see those transactions, we'll automatically match it. So essentially, we become a virtual CFO for a small
Mhm.
business person, because all you need to do is review. Do you agree with these things? And in the future, we'll get even more sophisticated to the level that says, hey, we have a high degree of confidence that these are correct. We're just going to post them to your transaction or your general ledger. And all you
Mhm.
have to do is review the exceptions. So imagine if you're that person with, 100 transactions a year, you might spend 2 or 3 minutes on the data entry component of your business.
Mhm.
You'll spend more time, you'll be able to review your statements, understand them. That's really the purpose of having your books in order, having real-time cash flow statements. So this whole market is ripe for disruption, the whole accounting market.
Now, what if it's ripe for disruption? What are the things that you're seeing with the freelancers, the singletons, the tiny small businesses? Where do they keep screwing up? Because I mean, you've got your finger on the pulse, right? Like the guys that are in the folks that are in this group are your market. Where do you see them getting it wrong again and again?
Well, it's just that, historically, accounting software is pretty open-ended. It's pretty flexible. You have an expense, you have to, choose the correct expense category. You do all of those things. You're busy, you lose your receipts. And so what happens is that people really don't optimize their financial statements for the tax authorities. So whether
Mhm.
it's the IRS in the US or the CRA here in Canada, what we've done is we've optimized it for those categories.
Mhm.
And so when we have an expense, we'll put it against the right expense category, so it's not flagged for audit, for example, right?
Right.
And when you connect to your bank, our stats show that on average, a small business will have 2.4 times, and it's 2.4 times. So we've done this research, more transactions posted in their general ledger, which means they're maximizing their deductions. Or the corollary of that, or the inverse of that, is people are missing valuable deductions because they're not capturing all of their expenses in all their
Huh.
transactions, for example. So, if it's available, if you can make it easier, spend less time, have it more accurate, and pay less taxes, that's what I would do
I
if I
got to
was a
tell
small
you,
business
like
guy.
talking to you and looking at Kashoo, because I mean, we're dancing around trying to figure out a way to work with each other. But the more I learn about Kashoo, the more I also think I'm in the creative profession. I'm a brand guy. I am terrified of numbers. Up until a short time ago, I didn't know what executing a contract meant. I thought it was when it was over. But I also think that something like Kashoo, and this is what we're going to dive into in a second, is also great for getting people in a creative profession to dip their toe in numbers, and it doesn't seem scary. You've taken the scary out of it a little bit. How much of that was intentional, and what did you actually do to take the fear factor down? Because I'm sure you meet a lot of guys like me who are terrified of numbers and just want to throw the shoebox at the bookkeeper.
It was all intentional. So
Mhm.
we've been at this for over 10 years. We started as traditional accounting software, very much by the book, and really more concerned about accuracy and perhaps efficiency at some level rather than the user experience. So we believe in what I brought to the business is a lot more empathy for our customers, right? And there's a whole framework for software development called Jobs to be Done. And the Jobs to be Done framework says, you know what? It's not just the technical thing of getting that expense and putting it into the correct category. It's about dealing with the emotional needs of your user, of your customer. It's about dealing with the social needs of your customer. And with that in mind, then it's like, okay, so how can I make this less stressful? How can I make this so we recognize that, you went into the creative profession not to become a bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
You went into the creative profession to, be creative, to help your customers, to have fun doing what you love to do. And odds
Mm-hmm.
are you're never going to love the financial piece of it. So what we're trying to do is create essentially a virtual CFO for you as a creative professional.
I love it. Now, we're going to do that's background of the company. I want to cover three things today. I want to cover how you shifted from targeting one specific market, the background. Yeah, because I think everybody at Brand DIY should sign up, and we're going to get to that in a second. But the second part is the shift in your market. And the third part, I want to talk about this amazing, cool new offering that you have. So let's move on. The second part, when you first joined Kashoo, wasn't that long ago? It was an accounting software aimed at agriculture, folks who were farmers and in the ag business. How does that even happen? Like,
Well, I'm not certain that it was aimed at agriculture. We have a large proportion of customers in the agricultural vertical.
mm-hmm,
But if you look beyond that, we have fairly good representation across all the verticals. What really happened is that, we have a sister organization that's part of the same ownership group, and they provide financial advice to the agriculture business. And so that's how that happened, right? We had a close ally. Having said that, I joined last December, so essentially a year ago, more or less today, I think. And
congratulations. This is
and
your party. I hope you enjoy it.
and so it's a bit like it's on American Money it says "In God We Trust," right? And then there's the other part that businessmen add, and everybody else show me the data,
Uh-huh.
right? So the data showed me that, hey, we have a lot of agriculture customers. Okay, that's interesting. We have a lot of customers that are pretty representative of how verticals work, how in terms of number of companies per vertical.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we also found, and this is the most important thing, and this is probably what's going to lead to the future discussion here, is that 80% of those customers had less than 500 transactions, 45% had less than 100. So for some reason, people chose Kashoo even though they had various simple accounting needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have several hypotheses about that. But I also, we started to coin this concept of truly small businesses. Okay, because not only we're fortunate enough to be able to track those truly small businesses, but there's a whole population, 8.5 million of them in North America alone, that don't use accounting software. And what could we do, since we already are in a conversation with truly small businesses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's think about their emotional needs, their social needs, really their job needs. What are what's the most basic thing you need to do when you start a business, right? And as you get more sophisticated, great, maybe you're ready for Kashoo, TSB, right, for
Mm-hmm.
truly small business, and that's great. But if you're not, we really want to be able to help. And so that's where we're now evolving our business.
Mm-hmm.
And purposefully, we're not chasing a feature war of building extra features that 3 of my customers out of 10,000 are going to use.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really the purpose here. For me, it's about making it easier for you as the consumer of that financial information.
Now, you let the cat out of the bag. Let's talk about truly small business. That's a concept that you talked to Joe and myself about when we were talking about, okay, how we're going to work together. You said truly small business, and what you're doing, you're getting into the reciprocity game. And I think it's super. And whether you're small agriculture, or you're a small designer, or you're a small anything, shopkeeper, a lot of us, we gravitate to stuff that we can get for free. So you're building out an entire offering of free stuff. And I mean, there's a couple of your competitors who I did some research on, a background on them. They're offering this up, but a lot of them are doing more white papers and helpful articles and DIY stuff. So what's sort of the thinking behind, basically, I can get anything that I want for free from you?
Well, the thinking is pretty simple. Since we've been in conversations with truly small businesses for over 10 years, and as you can probably tell by the color of my hair, I've been serving in the small business market for many more years than that. Over 20 years of experience. Prior to Kashoo with Intuit. So I know this market well, and I know that when you're a truly small business, you often don't have anybody else to help you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so often you'll run into a problem, whether it's, with PayPal, or it's your brand marketing or your website development. You can't know everything about everything. And so that's one piece. So if we can be helpful in any way with small businesses, and that would include, articles and guest speakers and, free templates,
Mm-hmm.
for example, free invoicing templates, or even free invoice generators.
Mm-hmm.
The day that you're ready and your business is successful enough and you've got enough volume to say, hey, I should really automate this. I should purchase something. Then we hope that you would think of Truly Small. If you got even bigger, we hope that you would think of Kashoo.
Mm-hmm.
Kashoo's offering, which is full accounting software. So for us, it's just we're there to help you. It's cooperative. We just want you to succeed, because when you succeed, eventually you're going to come knock on a door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Now,
because you'll need to.
When we worked together on Delivery Slip, one of the big things we always talked about was tech stack. So, somebody that you would sell Delivery Slip to, a remarketer, they would take a whole bunch of different types of offerings and then give them to their clients as part of their IT package. Now, I look at truly small business and I hear those words. I go, I've never heard those words before. And I really like those words. In fact, I like those words so much that the first time you told me those words, I turned around and went to GoDaddy and I bought Truly Simple Brand and Truly Small Brand or something like that. So that you can't get those.
You probably can't get Truly Small, but
well, no,
I have them.
Yeah. And so I just hit my microphone there. It probably sounded like an earthquake. But when I heard Truly Small Business, I went, oh my God, that's a big idea. And I could see creating a whole stack of products and businesses for people like me going, congratulations, you've just been thrown out of big ad agency. You're on your own. Don't be scared. You have nobody to turn to, but we got the complete Truly Small Business service offering with a concierge named Yves. Have you thought of taking, I know you got to walk before you run, but to me, it just seems like a huge idea.
No, I think it's very promising. There's Michael Porter, who's a Canadian business professor. I think he teaches at Harvard, or he used to anyway. He's written lots of interesting books, but he talks about the marketplace, especially for software disruption, in terms of people being overserved and underserved. And so when I think about the truly small business market, it's equal parts being overserved. The people that are actually using accounting software today, I'd say 80% of them, that rule of thumb that we used for Kashoo is actually true. When I worked at Intuit, I advised FreshBooks for many years. A lot of the businesses are truly small, and those proportions aren't out of reason. And then there's this whole non-consumption market, right? People are out there, almost 9 million of them, and they're not using accounting software. And we know that if you should use at some level, have some financial governance or some financial control over your business. So can we make it easier? Can we just solve one problem for you? And whether that's just, hey, I just, what are net terms, right?
Yeah.
Just explaining what's on a invoice. What does accepting payments mean, right?
Hmm.
So easy enough for us folks that have been in the industry, but it's those are just basic questions. And so being a good resource center, and then having helpful tools, right?
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to pay, because boy, if you just started your business and you're sending out your first invoice, you know what? A simple, Google template or Excel template will do just fine.
Hmm.
And we'll offer those things.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was I did everything in I think it was Keynote or something like that on Apple, like the PowerPoint
Hmm.
slide or the Excel, whatever the Excel version of in Mac is. I did all my
Numbers.
invoices like that for years, and it was just fine. And now I got FreshBooks. I don't have Kashoo yet because I'm far too big and sophisticated, but I got FreshBooks, and I'm like, no way, they actually count the invoice numbers.
That's
One,
right.
two, three. So I don't have to count the invoices
That's
because
right.
I'm serious. For years my accountant would go, well, we got 2001-3s here, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know,
We
but
do.
like stuff like that. You're going,
Mhm.
oh man, just having somebody take that worry away. But it would be wonderful if I had somebody take that worry away, lead me down the path bit by bit, so it doesn't scare me, so I get better at figuring out the terminology and the stuff that I have to do first, second, and third. But where there's accounting, there's so many other things like operations of a company and stuff. And I'm going, man, I could just see a wonderful little concierge, a truly small concierge pack that these people go, thank God somebody's out there taking care of me. We got to work on that.
Yeah, no, I would certainly see that in our future. It's all of the things that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You will be, if you believe in the concept of strengths and weaknesses, and there's some great books on that. You're going to be good at something
Mm-hmm.
because you're probably going to like it. And the things that you're not going to be good at, you're not likely to prefer. And the whole theory there about strengths and weaknesses is, hey, make your weaknesses, neutralize them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a big company, you hire people around you that have the strengths that you don't have. When you're
Yeah.
by yourself, you got to neutralize it, and that has to be with other resources,
Yeah.
like a truly small that offers those other resources. So yes, I do see a day when we would have a whole series, not just financial um, tools, but operational tools, incorporation tools, all the things that you would need when you're starting a business.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff even when you're hiring people, what do you have to compensate for? Workers' comp, benefits, things like that. When I started my business, I was a creative director. I didn't have a clue about that stuff. So in addition to accounting, there's just other financial stuff that, like you said, you work in a big company. I had like 100 people answer to me. You can just disappear that work. It's gone. You don't have to ever think about it. I think it's good being able to think about it, being able to stand on your own 2 feet. But man, it's terrifying when you're on your own. Now, I want to finish off with one thing. Um, uh, Customer discovery. A big part of getting the products right is customer discovery. So you're going to start putting out these free products through Kashoo / Truly Small Business, and they're going to be free offerings. And you're going to be tracking, engaging. Are you going to be engaging like an active feedback loop to figure out if people are using them, how they're using them? Could they use something else? Are you going to be doing any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing that, and we'll be doing it all within that framework that I mentioned before, the whole jobs to be done
Mm-hmm.
framework. So it's not just the technical component of what we're trying to help you with, but it's the emotional component, that how do you feel when you do this thing?
Yeah.
And because remember, you're the only person, and I know I need to do it, and it's like pulling teeth, and we just want to make it as easy as possible. So if people are coming back and saying, yeah, it's correct, it does what it needs to do, but I hate it,
Yeah.
then how do we fix that? Right. So that
Totally.
that was some of the machine learning that we had applied. That was the whole concept that I know I need my books. I hate typing it all in. I never know what category. I'm afraid actually of what
Yeah.
category. Fear was a big thing. So we will actively seek that, especially with this group. And as we, get requests components where we're not providing that assistance, then we'll continue to build out those resources.
Okay, give me a timeline. Now you're talking about doing trials and stuff with your internal staff just to see if they can break the machine in January, and then you're gonna press go mid to late January.
We're going to be stress testing our latest offerings, which will be under the Truly Small brand. We'll be stress testing that next week.
Oh, wicked.
And so we are targeting the first week of January to be in market with a complementary brand and complementary resource center and invoice generator.
Oh, that's fantastic. So
free resources.
The people at Brand DIY, I'm going to link them to you, to Kashoo, right? And they can get on your mailing list if they go to the Kashoo website, so they can get notifications when this Truly Small comes out.
Sure. Yeah, you can find us at kashoo.com, or you'll also be able to find us at trulysmall.com. So both
you
of
got
those sites
trulysmall.com?
That's why you couldn't get it.
Oh man, I would have liked to get that. That would have been a fun sale. I wouldn't have had to borrow any money from you. I could have just sold you your name.
That's right.
Yves, thank you so much. I think this is super helpful for the folks out there in Brand DIY land. I've worked with Kashoo and it is wonderful, but I love the idea of being able to try this stuff out. And if you're just starting, I just had 10 people join up last night. And they're all saying the same thing. I'm crap at this entrepreneur stuff. I like doing what I do, but I'm crap at the entrepreneur stuff. And just to have somebody go, you know what, chill out. It's okay. We're all in the same boat. Here's something, try it out. It's free. Tell me what you think about it. And to actually take a sort of an empathetic perspective on something like accounting that's so scary to so many of us. I think it's a really good thing.
That's phenomenal. I'm
awesome.
More than happy, hope to see you again.
What do you mean hope to see me again? We're going to be seeing you in January when everybody comes back and says this, I saw this, and this, you need to fix it. We're going to be putting you in the hot seat then. That's every Thursday. Every Thursday is hot seat. That's when we're going to be grilling you. Yves, take care. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.